cargo bags in front of you so they don't bounce around when we hit those rough roads out there. You'll be more comfortable. Alrighty, everybody settled and ready back there? As we say here in Harambe, Twende, that's Swahili for let's go. See you in 2 weeks, Brandon. So hamjambo, everyone. That's hello. My name is Sasha. I'm your guided driver for your 2-week photo safari. I do ask everyone to please remain seated whenever the truck's moving, and please don't lean out the windows. We're going to be passing very close to some rough brush with nasty long thorns. You don't want anyone getting snagged and hurt. Jumbo.
Need a straight line.
If you have adjustable settings on your cameras, I highly recommend putting them on an action setting like sports. The animals out there will be moving around, and so will we. And hold on tight to your cameras, because we're not allowed to stop in the reserve in order to pick up anything dropped off the truck. Harambe Reserve was established in 1971 to protect local wildlife. Over the years, the animals have gotten used to us. They don't run and hide from our trucks anymore. Unfortunately, though, they don't run and hide from poachers either, because they don't know the difference. So we have wardens patrolling the entire 800 square miles, watching over the animals both on land and up in the air. And we need to check in with the airborne patrol warden overhead, let them know that we're coming into the reserve. So let's check in. Airborne patrol, this is Simba 1. Warden, do you copy? Over.
Simba 1, this is Warden Wilson Mutua. Over.
Jumbo Wilson, we're entering the reserve at Little Ituri Forest. Over.
Hamjambo, Simba 1. Keep your eyes open and drive carefully. You should see lots of animals.
Roger that. You heard him, folks. Keep your eyes open. A lot of the animals here in the forest blend in with their surroundings. It can be hard to see sometimes, like the okapis across the river on the right. Okapis are rare reclusive animals. They live in dense jungles and are very seldom seen. In fact, Western scientists didn't see their first live okapi till 1901. Before that, they thought they were mythical beasts invented by the pygmies in the Congo. Despite the stripes on the okapis, they're not related to zebras at all. They're actually the only living relative of the giraffe. They're the forest version of giraffes. And you can tell by their shape. They're shaped like giraffes are, just smaller and shorter necks. Watering holes like the one on the left often give us a chance to see rare animals we might not otherwise encounter. Everybody comes down for a drink sooner or later during the day. That gives us a chance to see them sometimes. Let's see if there's anybody down here. Big white birds over here on the right with the red faces are yellow-billed storks. Like all storks, they're carnivorous, and they'll try to eat anything that's smaller than they are, including even small birds. So they're usually by themselves. Doesn't seem to be anybody down here. If you spot anything in the bushes that I missed, let me know. And if you have any questions during the safari, feel free to ask at any time. Just holler out so I can hear you, and don't be shy. Black and white birds over here in the clearing on the left are saddle-billed storks. They get their name from the yellow patch on the beak that looks like an English riding saddle. They're the tallest storks. They can stand 5 to 6 feet tall and have a wingspan of 8 to 9 feet. Behind them in the trees are some greater kudu. Greater kudu are the largest antelope in the forest, second largest in Africa. The male kudu can reach 750 pounds and have huge horns. The females don't grow horns, and they're only about 500 pounds. We're coming up to the Sapi River here over the hill. The Sapi River is a gathering place for Nile hippos. The Nile hippopotamus is one of the largest animals in Africa. The baby hippo weighs 85 pounds when it's born. And a full-grown adult male hippo can reach anywhere between 5,000 and 6,000 pounds. Hippos spend their days in the water resting and sleeping. They come out in the evening when the sun goes down to feed on the grasses along the riverbanks. They're herbivores. And an adult hippo can consume 100 to 150 pounds of grass in one night. Hippos can stay submerged underwater anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes at a time. So watch for bubbles. You never know when one's going to surface. Yeah, I see some hippos on the other side of the island on the left. Big birds on the island are pigback pelicans. They're unique amongst pelicans. They're the only ones that nest and roost in trees. All other pelicans nest and roost in rocks and cliffs. These are also the only pelicans that will hunt together as a group. They herd fish into the shallows where they can all feed on them together. Here's a female hippo coming up to the surface over here on the left. Get a closer look. There she is. There's another one on the bottom of the river, blowing bubbles. Another one over here by the island. Hippos get around by walking on the bottom. They can swim, but they prefer to walk. And they do so very gracefully. They tiptoe along the bottom. There's a hippo out of the water across the river. There's an unusual sight during the day. We're coming up to this old bridge that we have to cross, and it could be dangerous, so everybody sit tight, hold on to your kids just in case. There are crocodiles under the bridge in the river. Those are Nile crocodiles. They're one of the largest freshwater crocodiles. They can reach 20 feet long and weigh up to 2,000 pounds. They're larger, stronger, far more aggressive and dangerous than the American alligators, their cousins. Okay, it looks like we made it across safely. Didn't lose anybody this time, so let's move on. Roger Wilson, Simba 1, what's up? Over.
Just wanted to let you know that my ground patrol has seen a lot of elephant activity near the red clay pit.
Oh, good.
You definitely want to check out that area.
Thanks to the tip, Wilson. We'll be there in just a bit. Right now we're leaving the forest and entering the savanna, a whole different ecosystem with lots of different animals. And speaking of different, this tree on my right that looks like it's upside down with its roots up in the air, that's a baobab tree or baobab. They survive long periods of drought by storing water inside those huge trunks. They conserve that water by going leafless and dormant, like it is now, for 9 months out of the year. That allows them to survive for several thousand years, and that one's almost 1,000 years old. We'll see some older ones coming up. The older they get, the bigger they get. We're coming up to my favorite view of the savanna. You can see the grasslands all the way to the horizon up here. The Serengeti grasslands extend for hundreds of miles, and they act as a major highway for migratory animals. They're also the home of our more familiar African animals like giraffes, elephants, lions, cheetahs. This is the wild Africa we're trying very hard to conserve. The landscape here in the savanna is actually created by the animals who live here. Elephants act as bulldozers. They